Hello, everybody. Welcome to Guess Who's Trending, the only TV show where everyone is treated like a celebrity. And I'm your host, Too Deep. That's right. All right. Thank you very much. Listen, today's show is sponsored by the Ties Heart Foundation, where they are assisting for the research of sudden cardiac arrest and the ability to apply and supply AED machines into all homes across America. Listen, thank you to Ties Heart Zone Foundation as well as American Heart Association for all that you're doing for the people out there struggling with this sudden cardiac arrest. Listen, family, we have an amazing show for you today, coming to you straight from Lunenburg, Massachusetts. That's right, with over 20 years of recording experience and writing. He's recording. He is an artist slash trained vocalist slash trained pianist, and he's even been in the Navy, baby. I don't know, how did they do the salute? My son was a Marine, so I can't tell you. Please put your hands together for the one, the only Sam Welch, baby. Yeah.
Hey,
how you doing?
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, brother.
Good.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Let's get it together. All right, man. Well, welcome to the show. It's finally to get you. We're here in New York. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yep.
I don't
You
know.
know how to get out
I've
or
been
you
working
can
with you
walk
for a little
out,
bit of
so-
time now. I love your music. You got a fan in me. But some people, I don't know. I see they still got the mask on. If they scared of Corona or what's going on, they may not know who you are. So take a minute, man, and tell everybody who you are, where you coming in from, and what's good with you, family.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be down here in New York. It's kind of a long way for me from New England. I have a lot of history with New York. I went to school in New York. I had my nervous breakdown in New York.
Oh Lord, yeah, right. That'll do it.
I live in Central Mass now, a very quiet area of Massachusetts. Living there about 15 plus years, and I'm originally from Boston. Went to prep school outside Boston and had a good education. A lot of musical training, starting at probably I would say the age of 8.
Wow.
Studied piano all the way through high school. Studied voice in high school. In college, I was in this group called the Columbia Kingsmen, which was an a cappella group.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
A lot of stuff.
All right, that's what's up. And so you started at 8 years old. It ain't like no Michael Jackson, Joe Jackson thing where your parents just beating you. Sing, boy, sing.
Not that bad.
Okay, well, it wasn't that bad. Okay. Now, your music genre, especially being from New York area, now Massachusetts, the industry likes to put us in a box, and they call it alternative pop. Do you consider your music that you do alternative pop?
My music is so unique that I developed my own genre. I call it transcendental techno vox. Technically, it is pop / alternative, but it's out of that range because there's a lot of vocal harmonization in my music. There's a lot of instrumentation, and it's not really like rock. It has a pretty wide range of genre style, so I like to call it transcendental techno vox.
Okay, how the heck did you get into that? I mean, you're in your own genre now.
That was
who are some of your influences? What brought you to that area of music?
I don't really classify myself as being part of the pop world. I grew up listening to groups like The Band, guy named Robbie Robertson, back from the early 1970s.
Okay.
Sort of the Appalachian rock tradition. Really amazing sound, which just floored me when I first heard it for the first time, and I followed them for a long time. But as far as pop goes, I would say, Elvis Costello, David Byrne, that whole tradition.
Big names.
Yeah.
Big names. That's what's up. Now, here we are in New York doing our thing, man. And when I have conversations with you, when I look at your bio and try to understand who is Sam Welch, you have a deep, what do I call it, man? Infliction for emotional distress and emotional dysregulation. ED, some people know, I don't know, Mike Tyson might got ED because one minute he crying, the next minute he laughing, next minute he want to slap the snot out of somebody. What brought you into that? Do you mind us talking about that? I know it's kind of personal, but
it's very relevant to my being here in New York City. At the age of 19, when I was a sophomore at Columbia, I had a nervous breakdown.
Oh, wow.
And I had to leave school, medical leave of absence. I had a decision to make, which is either, stay in New York and continue to study or really look into getting better and move back to New England. It was probably the most pivotal decision I've ever made because it directed the rest of my life.
Okay.
If I had stayed at Columbia, I would have lived down in New York, and it would have been a much different experience. The alternative was to go home and get the psychiatric treatment that I really needed back then.
Okay.
And to get back on track emotionally and, in a sort of regulation way, just to be healed of the nervous breakdown that I had, because it really was a neurological event. It was something that was going to change my life forever.
Come on.
And the fact that I was able to resolve it and move ahead from there was part of my journey.
Wow, how about that? That's amazing. And it makes you that much stronger of a man, just in my opinion, and I hope it's for our listeners as well, to be able to admit that, because us as men, we don't want to admit our faults. We don't want to admit that we have problems, and we can go through life really just skating over it, putting Band-Aids on it. So I really applaud you on seeing that you had something that needed to be taken care of and being man enough to go through and take care of that. Thank you for that, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's called lived experience, and people can actually take it and sort of make it work for them in the long run. I mean, I've used my lived experience to get a career, basically, as a psychiatric counselor.
How about that?
The fact that I have that lived experience helps me in my own work with my individuals, and so I was able to kind of take advantage of the fact that I had this certain special perspective on life.
Amen. Kind of like me on my day job. I started out as a welder. It gives me a much closer and intimate view on what's happening when a company's coming in to do welds or some type of repair, because I've lived in that lane. Not the same, totally not the same, but I understand where you're going. So that drives you into music. So 20 years, man. You've been doing this 20 years, so you've seen the change.
20 plus
years. So you've seen the change from cassette tapes to CDs to now digital streaming. How has that affected the way that you move in the industry?
I mean, I started off writing my own music using something called a Roland BR8, which was back in 2000, the year 2000.
Yes.
Digital recorder that you kind of just had to deal with. But I mean, I did a lot of sort of organic mixing back then with my vocal tracks. I would go ahead and layer in the vocal tracks one at a time manually, and it was a big job, and it didn't sound very good. It was I mean, I have over 150 songs that I've written.
Come on.
It started back in 2000.
Take some work.
Like the very first song I ever wrote, called Chain Gang. It's a gospel. It's like it's a gospel song, basically.
Okay, amen.
But it was using that role and then doing the harmonization authentically, each track. And then in about 2015, I discovered something called the vocal doubler.
Okay.
Which enables you to sing one track and have it be multiplied.
That's right.
And when I heard that sound, I was just like, I got to do something with this.
This is it.
And I've been addicted to it ever since.
Come on, that's my BR1200, baby. Yeah, buddy.
It's called vocally resonant music because of the amount of vocal harmonization that's in the music.
When I send my music out to producers, they kind of probably get a little agitated because it could be like 20 tracks where I'm just layering, but I do all my own harmonization and stuff. Talking about music, The Republic, man, that's your new song that you dropped a little bit ago, but it's doing things, man. How did you come up with that? I mean, because when I hear The Republic, I start thinking Star Wars right away. Is that what we're supposed to see? Probably not.
Well, something not quite Star Wars, but it does have to do with the sort of the experience of moving into the next world. I read about transcendence, and the Republic kind of stems from my experience in the military. I was in the Navy in 1988.
Yes, sir.
And I was also not
on service.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't on my medication, so the Navy did not work out for me because I basically couldn't function very well. But I would literally have these sort of superhuman experiences where I would hear voices coming from the sky, and so I started really thinking about transcendence a lot.
Okay.
And I had to ask myself, what's going to happen to this country when everybody is no longer here and somewhere else?
Come on.
How does this country continue on? How does the country?
That's deep.
And the question is there a United States in the future? So I mean, that's the question.
I didn't think we'd be here after Y2K. I mean, really, when you think about it, the way that things are going, that's a deep question, man.
I mean, I think the Republic is about the continuation of our national identity into a new world. Not this world, but the next
spiritual world.
Yeah.
Are you religious? Do you think spiritual world?
I'm a practicing Unitarian.
Okay, amen.
I grew up in a slightly hybrid environment, but I've been a Unitarian for about 10 years, I would say, and it feeds into my music. There's a lot of nature in Unitarianism, and a lot of my music relates to holistic, sort of natural cycles.
Okay. So, you can tell you went to college. You've been using some big words. He's using big words on me, y'all. Y'all see what he's doing, right? Holistic, I like it. So how is the public reacting to your song, Republic? You know, how's the general listening audience accepting it? Are they giving you any good feedback on it?
I've gotten good feedback from interviews. I've gotten good feedback from people who've listened to my song for the first time, and people like it a lot. It's not actually the most interesting song on the album. The song that's received the most attention is a song called Mr. Bongrazi.
Okay.
Which, as a psych counselor, I wrote about one of my clients. So that got a little bit more attention than the Republic did. But people like it. You know, I would say probably more, not as much streaming as I would like, but there's more. That's more related to my own distribution than anything else.
Okay, because you're independent. You're an independent artist, yeah. So you're in charge of all of that good stuff. Right. So videos, have you done any music videos for how? I do
have videos. They're on my website. Sam Welch Boston's my website. You can find them there. You can find them on YouTube.
Okay. You're gonna have to spell that for me because I'm a horrible speller. If you see my checklist here. So how do they get there? Sam Welch?
Sam Welch Boston.
Okay, Boston.
Yes.
SAMWELCH BOSTON.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam Welch Boston. And that's your website?
That's the website.
Okay. What about your YouTube, where they can see
YouTube,
live?
I have my own YouTube page, Sam Welch. And then also Instagram, you can find some videos on there too.
Okay.
So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't just come out here to see me, which I wish you did, and I appreciate it, but you got a bunch of things going on. You got a concert going on this evening. What's next for Sam Welch, man? Where can people go check you out? What's going on with you?
I'm performing at Pete's Candy Store today in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, Pete's Candy Store.
Yeah. It's I've been doing a lot of, my goal is to get more paid gigs. You know, that's something that I'm trying to focus on right now. I perform about once a week in North Central Mass, different bars and restaurants and stuff like that.
That's big. You're working.
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that I've already started on my next album. I'm 3 or 4 songs into that, and working on sort of addressing some things that I want to write about with my own lived experience and what I've been going through in the past year. There've been some developments in my life that have actually fed my musical creativity.
That's the best music.
It's hard. It's bittersweet.
Oh yeah.
Because
you got to go through it to get it right.
back in April, I had a little bit of an event happen in my life, which completely turned everything upside down.
April was crazy. So did I. April was a horrible month for me and my family.
Really?
Yeah. We lost our 20-year-old son to sudden cardiac arrest. So
sorry.
You guys talked about that in the intro. That's what we're here for today for Ty's Foundation, man. And it's a life-changing event. At any given moment, you can be the toughest, strongest man in the world and break down crying when you're 20-year-old and is no longer with us. So I can completely understand it. I find most of my new music is resonating around that experience. It's hard to kind of get out of it because every time I pick up a mic or hear a beat, I hear something of either my God talking to me or something that I want to get out to people on how to be able to cope with this situation. So I truly relate with that. Wow.
Yeah, I was working in my studio in April, and I had some feedback come through the lines, and I developed tinnitus. Do you know, have you ever heard of tinnitus? Mm-mm. It's like when you have ringing in your ears.
Oh, shit, I think I got that. No, not really.
I think like half of musicians have it.
Every now and then it'd be like, beep.
Yep.
Oh, no.
I've actually had that since I was about 20 years old.
Okay.
And it first happened when I was actually at McLean Hospital, which is the psychiatric thing that I was talking about.
Okay.
And I thought that was, when that first happened to me, the tinnitus, I thought, well, that's my mental illness. But then I realized that's not my mental illness. You know, that's an actual physiological condition that results from loud noise. Yeah. So I had a little bit of confusion
in the back of the truck.
For about 40 years, I've been a little bit confused.
Yeah. I can see why. So if you're out there and you got them 15-inch woofers in the back banging away, be careful because your ears will be ringing when you get a little older.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that?
It sort of affected the thematic quality of the music that I write. I'm focusing more on the idea, not necessarily transcendence as making it to the next level, but actually involving some level of healing in the next world. Wow. So a lot of my songs the songs that I write now are about healing.
Okay.
I have a song that I wrote about one of my cats, Ophelia, about her ultimate healing, because that's really
about that.
It's really my hope is that there is healing in some form.
Amen.
So yeah.
Amen. Well, I know you got a show to get to. I don't want to keep you long, but we always gonna keep you strong. Again, I just want to just touch, and not to end on a somber note, but at least an educational note. Again, you are really deep into the emotional dysregulation and ED and different things like that just to get people aware to the things that you've gone through and overcome in your life to be here today. If I just gave you the mic for a minute, man, and just stop talking, what would you say to the people? Just talk to them. What would you say to someone to help them to understand the situation, to know that they're going through something like that, and how to be strong and to pursue getting it corrected?
I mean,
you can talk to them.
Recovery is a long process. Don't expect that your problems are going to get resolved overnight when you're having a mental health issue. The first time this happened to me, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be spending the next 10 years of my life in a state hospital. That was horrible. It's a horrible realization to have to make. But at the same time, recovery is possible. Recovery takes time, but it is possible. It takes hard work, but I would not give up, and I would focus on getting all the help you can get from whoever you think might be of some assistance. I would say accept the supports you need without totally becoming taken advantage of by them. There needs to be some level of help involved. It doesn't take your life away from you. So it's kind of like a balancing act. Okay. Mental health is kind of like a balancing act.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
Wow, that's deep. Listen, family, if you or someone may be going through mental issues, please make sure that you try to get them some help. Reach out to somebody, talk to them about it. Don't just give them your opinion, because nobody needs your opinion. It's like those things. Everybody's got one that you're sitting on, right? So take it seriously and really get out there and look for the help that you can get, man. And if not, hit up Sam Welch, man. He can help you fucking work through it. Excuse my language, but hey, that's real, brother. That's real, man. Thank you. Yeah. Is there anything that we missed? Anything that you got going on that we didn't cover in this short amount of time that we got together, man? I'm really excited, man. I appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah, I'm working on. I actually just finished studying music marketing at Berklee College of Music.
Congratulations!
And I've got a lot of stuff to work on now with my career, my marketing aspect.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about possibly having some radio play.
Okay.
Doing some more blog publications, doing some more podcasts. So definitely look for me in the media. If you look for Sam Welch Boston, you'll find a lot of stuff about me, and it'll direct you to my website. So that'll be good.
Amen. Sam Welch Boston. SAMWELCH Boston. BOSTON. Go to the website, family. Check him out. Check out his music. Follow him. Download, stream, all that. Get at him, man. Sam Welch. Brother, it's been an honor and a pleasure having you here with us, man. I wish you all the best journey in what you have going on. Rock that show, break a leg, all the good things they say tonight. Show New York that Sam Welch is in the building, brother. And it's been my honor and my pleasure to have you, brother.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Thanks. You as well, man.
All
have
right.
a good night. Thank
you.
Too. Hey, family, you know who it is. It's your boy Too Deep. It's Guess Who's Trending. My man Sam Welch is trending, buddy. Let's get it. Let's go.